Leah wakes up on Monday with a familiar vow. This week, she will finally get her life together. She answers emails before breakfast, skips lunch to stay efficient, signs up for a hard workout, promises to cut out distractions, and tells herself that discipline is the answer. By Thursday, she is exhausted. So the pendulum swings the other way. She orders takeout, scrolls for hours, ignores messages, and says, "I deserve a break." By Sunday night, she feels guilty, behind, and strangely emptier than before. Most of us know this rhythm. We live in bursts of excess and backlash, overwork, then collapse, strict control, then impulsive escape, self-improvement, then self-disgust. We assume the answer is to become even more intense. But some of the oldest Buddhist teaching points in another direction. In early Buddhist teaching, the middle way is introduced as a path that avoids two extremes, chasing pleasure on one side and punishing ourselves on the other. In the first discourse, that middle way is identified with the Noble Eightfold Path. That matters because the phrase can sound softer than it is. The middle way is not just "take it easy," and it is not a slogan for mildness. It comes out of a serious question. What actually leads away from suffering, and what only creates a different form of it? Also, a quick note on accuracy. Buddhist traditions are diverse, and later philosophers, especially Nagarjuna, used middle way in deeper philosophical debates too. This video is focusing mainly on the earlier practical meaning, a path that refuses the trap of destructive extremes. The easiest mistake is to hear middle and imagine compromise. Half ambitious, half lazy, half committed, half awake. But the middle way is not mediocrity. Think of a musician tuning a string. Too tight and it snaps, too loose and it will not sing. The point is not to split the difference because moderation sounds nice. The point is to find the condition that actually works. That is why this idea is more intelligent than it first appears. It asks a practical question. Does this habit create clarity, steadiness, and less grasping? Or does it create agitation, numbness, and more craving in disguise? So the middle way is not a grey life between two colourful ones. It is a skillful path between two failures. Now bring Leah back into the picture. At work, she mistakes strain for seriousness. If she is not overwhelmed, she worries she is falling behind, so she keeps pushing until her focus gets sloppy, her patience shortens, and even small tasks feel heavy. Then she crashes, and the crash becomes its own kind of indulgence. Not rest that restores her, but escape that leaves her foggier. The same pattern shows up everywhere. In health, people bounce between punishing routines and giving up completely. In relationships, they alternate between clinging and withdrawal. With phones, they either let attention scatter all day or attempt unrealistic digital purity for 48 hours before rebounding harder. The modern insight is not that pleasure is bad or effort is bad. It is that both can become forms of bondage when they are driven by craving, fear, vanity, or self-hatred. A middle way response is quieter. Work with effort, but not self-violence. Rest, but not mindless escape. Use discipline, but not as a weapon against yourself. Here is a simple way to practice this without turning it into another perfection project. When you notice yourself swinging to an extreme, pause and ask two questions. First, what am I chasing right now? Second, what would be the steadier next step? Not the dramatic step, the steadier one. If you are overworking, the steadier step may be 1 focused hour instead of 4 frantic ones. If you are doom scrolling, it may be putting the phone in another room for 10 minutes, not declaring war on technology forever. If you are being harsh with yourself, it may be replacing punishment with structure. The middle way becomes real at that scale. Not in grand statements, but in the next wise adjustment. So the middle way in daily life is not about becoming bland, passive, or detached from the world. It is about seeing how easily we create suffering by swinging between extremes, then learning to choose the path that is more awake. According to early Buddhist teaching, that path is not random balance for its own sake. It is a way of living that aims at clearer seeing and less suffering. And in modern life, that can begin very simply. Notice the swing, refuse the drama of the extremes, and take the next balanced step.